the ongoing, so to speak, the recent APC direct primaries, which were supposed to deepen internal democracy by allowing ordinary party members decide candidates directly. But what Nigerians witnessed in many states were protests, parallel exercises, accusations of manipulation, and shock upsets. Looking at the fallout so far, BKO, who would you say are the real political winners and losers from this controversial process?
I think the most significant group of winners is the governors. Because Mr. President gave governors the power to determine who goes into the National Assembly from their states. We're talking about upsets. We've not seen any governor who was defeated. But no governor will allow himself to be defeated in a process that is so easy to manipulate. They're not going to allow that to happen. And in many cases, what happened was not really election. It was just pure selection in many cases. There are those who are even arguing that some of the figures coming out of those elections exceed the number of APC registered voters in those locations. So governors, especially outgoing governors, have been able to plant their successors. They've been able to plant people that they preferred as candidates for National Assembly elections, as candidates for House of Assembly elections. So the governors are in an unassailable primary is supposed to put power in the hands of the ordinary voter. Because unlike the indirect primaries, the ordinary member of a party is allowed to participate, is allowed to vote. But we are seeing governors simply imposing their will on the generality of party members. It is particularly painful when you look at cabinet members, Mr. President's cabinet members. On March 18, the president directed the ministers to resign from their positions if they want to take part in elections in line with Section 88, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2026. So the Minister of Power, Adelabu, resigned. Saidu Alkali, Minister of Transportation, resigned. Yusuf Maitama Tuga, Minister of Foreign Affairs, resigned. Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs, Yusuf Sununu, resigned. Nkeruka Onye Jocha, the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, also resigned to go and contest. But at the end of the day, only Sununu and Onye Jocha were able to win their own primary elections. Adelabu scored 19,193 to Sharafa Ali's 578,143 votes. Alkali lost to Jamilu Gwamna, the choice of the governor of Gombe State, and he alleged that he decided to boycott the process because of lack of fairness. But at the end of the day, votes were credited to him, and he came third in the election behind Pantami, who scored 12,120. He scored 11,612. Tugar, the minister, the middle-past minister of Foreign Affairs, resigned one day to the deadline, the date to the final day that they were given to resign if they were interested in contesting the election. But what did we see? He was defeated by Emi Abubakar. Emi Abubakar was the governor of the state, that's Bauchi, who was defeated, by Bindo, Mohammed Bindo, in 2019. So this is an opportunity for Emi Abubakar to come back to that position, having defeated Yusuf Tugar in the primary election. So these are the big losers in the whole process. When you look at the House of Reps and you look at Senate, a good number of the lawmakers are not coming back. All it takes for you to lose your chance to come back to the National Assembly is to have a misunderstanding with a governor, or a governor has a misunderstanding with somebody who was your godfather. So you are seeing people lose elections, not because they committed any offense, but because the governor happens not to like somebody who is the godfather of that individual. Or the governor has someone else that he wants to put in that position. So direct primaries normally should be even the best. But the Nigerian factor will never let direct primary be the best. Apart from a few places, even in Lagos, where we have seen people vote en masse for some very popular candidates, like the deputy governor of Lagos State, like Obasa, who is the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. In most of the cases, the outcomes did not reflect, or let me say in many of the places, the outcomes did not reflect the wish of the ordinary voter. This is what we have seen. And I hope that the president will be able to do something, especially given the fact that so many reports are coming. Ned Nwoko lost to the former governor of Delta State, but he's insisting that the election was rigged. Obioma Agege lost to Senator Dafinone, but he's insisting that the outcome was rigged. We also saw the drama in Kwara, where the governor had chosen someone as his preferred candidate, only to change his mind 24 hours later, and eventually chose the Speaker of the House of Assembly to replace him. And he pulled all the stops to ensure that the youthful Speaker carried the day. So this is what we are seeing. We are seeing the preeminence of governors. We are seeing the preeminence of powerful party leaders. We are even seeing the preeminence of some popular traditional rulers. Like Nohim, the majority leader of the Lagos House of Assembly, is accusing one of the traditional rulers in Lagos, one of the first-class traditional rulers in Lagos, of engineering his loss. So it's been really, really tough. Whoever a governor chose, it is impossible for that person to be defeated. This is what we are seeing. So, in my view, this is not good enough.
Yeah.
This is not good enough.
Yeah.
The elections are supposed to be wholesome in nature. They are supposed to be transparent. But what we have seen in many cases is governors simply having their way.
Absolutely, because as you've said, we're already hearing complaints about irregularities, threats of litigation, and allegations that some aspirants were fairly screened out before voting even began. In practical political terms, how dangerous could this become for the APC heading into 2027, especially in the battleground states where aggrieved aspirants may decide to defect or quietly sabotage the party from within? As a matter of fact, with the recent court ruling lifting the ban on INEC, the ban on INEC, and then pushing it up onto September for parties to submit their voter register, which effectively opened the window for politicians who may want to defect to other parties.
Of course, that particular, that judgment will be appealed. That judgment will be appealed, and nobody knows when the verdict of the court will come. If we are to go by what transpired in the ATC matter, ATC appealed, but it took months and months before that judgment came. And we all remember the problem that judgment caused. So in this case, they are going to appeal. They are certainly going to appeal. And once it gets to appeal court, you can't take action on the judgment of the court of first instance until the appeal court rules. As I always say, you can take a case before a court. That is within your rights, but you cannot determine when your case will come to judgment. So who knows? The judgment may not come until it is too late for these parties to do anything about the matter of registration, matter of substitution of candidates, and all that.
That's right. Okay, let me
Many
take some
of us
comments.
believe that it is right to stop those who habitually jump from one party to another at the last minute because you didn't win a primary election. The next day you hop into another party. Many of us don't think that it is right. No? But there are those who see it as the exercise of their rights. So, but the court will decide. And I need to say that the APC must move rapidly because there is a lot of discontent arising from these primaries. The governors have had their way, but what can they do on election day if people decide to vote against the party? You can't stop people doing anti-party on election day. If people feel aggrieved and they are bitter, they will show their anger by working against their party. Unless the president and others move quickly, there is no way the conduct of these primaries will not have a negative effect on the from the viewpoint of the party and the general election. There's just no way that won't happen.
Absolutely. Right. Let me take some comments very quickly. Larry Active says, in actual sense, APC need a lot of house mending to do. With the new federal high court judgments, there are a lot of defections coming. Akimbola Onile says the APC primaries in some states don't portray internal democracy amongst its members because of their selfish interest and actions selecting their own candidate. Some may work against the party And Nelson Adufe says, I agree with APC process. It's a written agreement that was played. Others who don't have a plan for primaries. Those fallouts of arguments are those who've got the first instance without a sacrifice. Olowo Gorioye Oloweko says Bala Mohammed won Mohammed Abubakar in 2019 Bauchi governor election. Okay, I don't know. Too many other comments, and this particular one, Ridwan Karim says, one thing Nigerians enjoy is political drama. ABC Primaries gave us premium subscription content this week. And then Ifeanyi also says, you know, a primary election was chaotic when defeated aspirants start smiling with opposition leaders the next morning. And Miriam Sunny says the RFI issue is becoming bigger than corruption allegations now. It's turning into a test case for opposition parties. Shegun Afolabi says some APC governors discovered that federal backing cannot always save you from angry grassroots delegates. Okay.